Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe are in a pot of hot water. Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe are in a pot of hot water. It's hot, so hot, just a couple of crabs in a pot. Sookie and Joe by Giandomenico. One day, Sookie and Joe, a couple of crabs, found themselves in a pot. A large pot of water. Being not quite sure how they got there, Joe took his big left claw and banged on the side. "Yeah, quite solid," he said. Just then, Sookie noticed the water starting to get warmer. Warmer and warmer. "I feel it too," Joe exclaimed. "It's getting too hot in here," she said, a little lightheaded. "This is not the best place for a crab." She continued, "Do you know where the best place for a crab is?" Joe looked at her and shook his head. "The sea," she beamed, "where we can play in the sand and drink cool drinks." Joe thought about it, scratching his crusty head. "No, really, I want to live by the sea and take cool dips in the ocean." The idea started to settle into Joe's hard-headed shell. "I know," he exclaimed, startling Sookie. "Let's escape and live by the sea." Sookie looked puzzled. "But how are we going to get out of here?" "I know how we're going to get out of here. Watch this." So Joe stood on his tippy-top crab toes and lifted Sookie to the top of the water. Just in time, too, because it was getting very hot. Sookie reached for the edge of the pot and peeked over to see if anybody was around. "Coast is clear," she whispered. Then Joe, with his big claws, lifted up the lid and helped Sookie out of the pot. They both scurried out across the kitchen and out the back door. After safely crossing several streets and using their natural crab senses, they found themselves at the beach. When the sun came up in the morning, Sookie had herself a lemonade while Joe read the Crustacean Chronicle. And Sookie and Joe lived happily playing in the sand and taking cool dips in the ocean. The end. Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe are in a pot of hot water. Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe, Sookie and Joe are in a pot of hot water. It was hot, so hot, just a couple of crabs in a pot. Sookie said Joe, Sookie said, Joe, Sookie said, Joe, I wanna live by the sea. Sookie said, Joe, Sookie said, Joe, Sookie said, Joe, I wanna live by the sea, 'cause it's hot, so hot, just a couple of crabs in a pot. So with all of their strength and all of their might, they lift off the lid and slip into the night. With all of their strength and all of their might, they lift off the lid and slip into the night. 'Cause it's hot, so hot, just a couple of crabs in a pot. Just a couple of crabs in a pot.